So mindfulness, that's what actually the title of our masterclass today is breathing for inner peace. But this breathing for inner peace, it's not much connected to the lungs, to the health of the lungs, to the oxygen, but how this breathing for inner peace is connected to mindfulness. And I never talked about mindfulness with you guys. We talked about other things, but now I'm bringing you towards the meditation a little bit closer, because talking about meditation a year ago would be like, right? So, but now it just, we can talk a little bit more. You understand that's not that kind of old-fashioned meditation, but the state of being present, the state of having the knowledge, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, how your body is. So that's the idea, right? So, Janice, do you mind to repeat what you got from the little 2 minutes of the video that I sent you before? What was the big deal for you?
The thing that got me the most was the like being in the present and being in the, I mean, being in the past and the future. It's like a resistance to being in this very moment. And it's like, oh yeah, because I don't want to be in this moment. I want to be in the next one. That's more comfortable. But what Debbie said was like, that was like the one that I forgot. I'm so glad you said it, Debbie. It was talking about, oh, the heart. Let's bring the heart into the whole thing. Let's not think of mindfulness as just being in the mind.
Yes. Debbie, what was your
Well, I had said,
when you heard that, when you watched the video, what did it hit you? How it hit
well,
you?
it was because I again don't think of it being in the heart. So when he said that, it was powerful enough for me to write it down that mindfulness was the presence of the heart. And it's like, no, mindfulness to me is in my mind. And I'm always in the past or in the forward, but never in the present and never in my heart. It's like, oh, okay. I have it all messed up. you know,
No,
it's
no,
not
I
messed up,
wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
but
that.
it's like
You're learning,
I don't,
honey. You're
yeah,
learning.
I don't put, I'm real bad about being in the present moment because I'm always thinking ahead, making up what's going to happen, what I think is going to happen, what will happen, and not in, well, let's see what's going to happen. We'll just let it go. I do that every once in a while, but I would say the majority of my time I'm forward thinking
You're
and
learning.
not being in the present moment. So
That's part of being of learning, right?
yeah,
We are all in a learning process. We are always evolving, right? So now it's little by little, it's getting more and more clear why it's the mind,
yeah,
the body, the feelings, and the spirit. So it's when, because we do everything separate, and as Janice said, I don't want to be in the present. And I love when he says, like, the present has so much of stress. Let me go back there if it's pleasant, right?
Mhm.
Or if we are choosing to be angry, so we remember something that happened there. So I want to be angry today. I want to remember that and keep being angry with the ABC people or ABC things, right? Or we anticipate and get anxious because the adrenaline is necessary, right? So we get adrenaline for anger from the past, or we get the adrenaline from. But the beauty is, let's get adrenaline to being uncertain. Uncertain is a lot of adrenaline for people. Do you know some people that love to have everything organized and in control? Do you know some people like
yeah,
Mm-mm.
so the uncertainty is very stressful for people like this. They want to anticipate. I was talking to a client this week, and he has a very important meeting, and it's a meeting that he needs to really be in his heart. And he said, oh, this afternoon I will write bullet points into what I will talk. I'm like, no, bullet points is in the head. No, you don't need to bring your head to the meeting. You need to put your heart in that meeting, specifically that meeting. So it's so much easier to go in the head, because in the head, we can control, right? In the feeling,
Yep.
you have to learn with the body. It's not to be controlling the feelings, but to be what you see. If you had a chance to see in the little guide I sent to you, it's to be like a learner, a learner mind. That's how we'll start the meeting today. So is that okay? Anybody has anything else to say? You want to share anything? No? No,
We're
you're
good.
good?
No,
Yeah, okay. Okay.
it is a learning process. That's for
It
sure.
is. So I have a 3 minutes. Tell me if you're watching, if you can see the video here. Yeah?
See.
Okay.
Lincoln Learning, yes.
So it's rotation and revolution of Earth. I don't want you grab any meaning of this. I just want you to be present to what happened in every moment of our lives. Okay? So
Have you ever wondered how planet Earth moves? Earth moves in two ways, through rotation and revolution. Earth rotates counterclockwise on its axis. The axis is an imaginary line that runs through the planet's center, passing through the North Pole and South Pole. Earth takes 24 hours to complete one full spin on its axis. This full spin is called a rotation. Earth's rotation is what creates day and night. Early in the morning, the sun rises in the east. If you stand on a beach along the Atlantic Ocean at sunrise, you will see the sun appear on the horizon as though it is rising from the water. What is really happening is that Earth is rotating and exposing your location to the sun. When a region begins spinning away from the sun's light, the sun appears to set or fall slowly. If you stand on the same beach once the sun has set, you might notice the sky growing darker. This happens because the area where you are standing is rotating away from its light source. As Earth rotates, one half of the planet faces away from the sun for about 12 hours. Although Earth takes 24 hours to rotate on its axis, it moves in another way. Earth follows a slightly elliptical path around the sun at the same time. One full orbit around the sun is called a revolution. A revolution takes nearly 365 days on Earth. The exact amount of time it takes for Earth to fully orbit the sun is actually 365 and 2400ths days. Because a part of the day cannot be calculated into the calendar, leap years were created. A leap year happens every 4 years. During a leap year, an extra day is added to the calendar. The day that is added every 4 years is always February 29th. So every 4 years, the month of February has 29 days instead of 28. This is a result of Earth's revolution around the sun. Both Earth's rotation and revolution are very important to humans. The planet's movement on its axis and movement around the sun are what create days, nights, and years, allowing humans to measure time. Earth's rotation and revolution result in lightness and darkness, the seasons, and the length of a day anywhere in the world.
what's important about this for you?
I got education out of it. But
What's important for your life when you watch this? Earth is rotating. We already know that, right? I just want to bring your attention, your awareness. The Earth is rolling, and at the same time is rolling around the sun. So what can you get about this to your life, to the matter what we are talking about? That's okay. That's okay. Whatever you get, it's welcome.
I was anticipating this question, but I don't have an answer.
I don't either.
That's okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
every minute is one. They don't
Yeah.
repeat. They don't repeat. Every second, every moment is unique, magical, and perfect. The fact of you try to anticipate what's tomorrow, what's afternoon, evening, is a nonsense. Because the earth will be rotating. It takes 24 hours. And for the year, it will take 365 days. So to live in the present moment is to be rotating with Earth. To be present to what's going on now. And now, it's another now. It's another now. That's you are in synchronicity with the universe. You are not like your mind going a little bit spinning in the earth and the universe and your metabolism and your sleep and the times you have food and that they go in one rotation and the seasons and the night and day and all that follows a big law of the universe. Every time we are out of this, we are robbing from our system, our mind, our heart, our body, our soul, the opportunity to live one day at a time, one moment by moment. And we'll talk more about this as we do this masterclass. So, having that said, what you can take from these knowledge that we learned this in basic school, right? But inside this context, what do you think that it brings to you as something to think, to do, to ponder? I don't know how these impact you in this moment of your life.
Well, I know that I don't live moment to moment.
So instead of
So I
saying what
need
you don't
to
do, instead of making an accent of what you don't do or what, let's see what you learned with that and what you are willing to create as a possibility for your life. Usually we
well,
don't do everything right. That's why we're here learning. That's okay. So what this brought to you and what is really impacting you that gives you some ideas maybe to do different?
It does sort of put things in perspective for me, being a little pin on the earth, and all these things are going on without my control, doing very well without me. Thank you very much. Right. And maybe kind of for me, maybe trusting and opening up a little that things are rotating and revolving in the way they need to. So where I am right now is this perfect unfolding, this perfect place of where I'm supposed to be, because this is how the universe works.
And what's the feeling, Janice, that it brings to you?
More a sense of calm, and it takes me out of my immediate fear, like that I got a big one today, money, but it's like, it's money. The earth is moving, the sun will set, the sun will rise, there will be 4 seasons, and life goes on. It's okay.
Peace and calm. For you, Debbie, what does it impact you in a positive way? What can you take as something that you can add to your life?
well, I have to be more in the presence. And not be in the forward thinking or the past thinking. I need to really stop and smell the roses, you know, and live in the moment. I do that to a point that I get calm and I'm in the moment and I'm really, and then something will trigger me, and then, you know, some event or something will trigger me, and then I immediately project and go forward. And I have to slow down and stop that. For me, that's what I have to really work on, is not projecting and not thinking ahead and just going for the moment.
What's
And
the difference for you when you're spinning and when you are in the moment? What's the difference? Because you said I
when
have,
when
and
I
you don't
have
have
those,
to. You don't have
no,
to. You can continue anticipating, right? It's not a, I'm not dictating the law of your lives, but if you experience both, what's the difference that makes you think I have to?
when I'm calm and I'm just sitting, or I could be sitting out in my backyard and just listening to nature and just listening to things, or being with the cats or the birds, and I'm calm and I'm in the moment of how, and then, you know,
What makes you feel when you are
I
there
feel,
in the moment?
I feel calm and relaxed, and nothing is bothering me. There's nothing going on that's bothering me. But if something bothers me, or something comes up that I have to think about for the future, then my mind starts going, that I start projecting, well, oh, I've got this appointment coming up and I need to get ready for this and I got to do this. And so I start pre-planning and getting ready. And because of that control that I like in my life, it's like I need to know what's going on and where it's going. And I need to step back and think about the calm moment when I'm sitting outside or just listening to nature. And I've been hooked on Jackie and Shadow, and I just sit there and I'm just mesmerized. I don't think about anything else. I just sit there and watch these two eagles sit there on their nest, and it's like, and
Awesome.
chuckle and laugh. But
Awesome.
I don't do that often enough. That so yeah, that's
So creating for you, it's like creating more moments
I
that
have to,
you are
I'm calm, and that I
decompress.
do that, and I do it, you know, 2 or 3 times a day. I do it, but those in between points is where I'm really not in the moment. I've moved on, so it gets kind of chaotic. It's like, oh, okay, and then you go, huh. And then I'll have something else will pop up, and it'll go, need to be. But I'm learning. We are learning.
We are all learning.
The more I hear and you provide for us the information and the knowledge, the more it sinks in and helps me to remember to sit and be quiet or be in the moment, the present moment. So yeah, it's good.
And trust, if I may jump in, and just
Yeah.
trust that it's revolving, it's all working out for itself. Life has continued for many millions of years without me, and I don't need to manage it entirely.
I know.
That's a good idea.
We sure try.
Right? That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Let's just share something else here with you guys. Let me just go back here. Just 1 second. It's not letting me do what I want, as always, right? You know.
Fixing my hair. I don't use the.
You know.
I was gonna say that Keith Urban. Okay.
You know the drill. You know the drill. Okay. So I want to just go and go through the little guide I made for you guys. Let's see if I can put this in a way that doesn't bother. It's okay. So can you see the guide?
Mhm.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So so it's a beginner guide to be mindful, right?
Mhm.
And this is just a little message for you. We've been talking about being silent, be in the moment. So 3 to 10 minutes, that's what the authors usually recommend. And the understanding what mindfulness is. I like this quote that's given by John Kabat-Zinn, the guy of the video, the 2 minutes video. That's awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose, in the present moment, non-judgmentally. So it's important that we keep in mind that it's not controlling the thoughts. It's not stopping thinking the things. As much as we are in the present moment with the five senses, easier it is not to be distracted by the thoughts. And I think you are in a moment now that it's becoming easier, right? Before was a torment. No, before, it was not even awareness of the thoughts, right? We believe that we have to follow what we think. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I forgot that. Oh, I did that. And then we had the calmness, like Deb said, the quietness brings calm, and the silence brings calmness too. So, and then now I wanna go through what I prepare for you. So, the mindfulness practice has a little of these 9 and a little bit more, but I selected 9 items. So learner mind, what the learner's mind is like a kid when it's learning for the first time, right? We don't have pre-judgment, pre-concept. We look at the thing for the first time and we are like, wow, that curiosity, that little child inside that gets excited about things. As we grow up and we get older, we kind of lose a little bit this excitement for life. Everything we have an opinion, everything we have an idea, everything we have a judgment. Even if you see something for the very first time, you have an opinion. You have some judgment. You have some comment. So I invite you to start seeing life as an excitement, as a kid. Just awake the little girl inside of you to face the world as a new thing, right? Don't be stuck in your own opinion about things, about everything. And if you have somebody showing you something that you already know, try to see from their perspective. Try to really be more curious when you're talking to people, when you're seeing things, when you go to the mall, when you go to the restaurant. I know people that order the very same thing in the restaurant. They go to the same restaurant and they order the same thing. What a boring life. And we are responsible for doing this. I have a friend, she only eats Caesar chicken salad. What can be the most expensive restaurant and the cheapest place, chicken Caesar salad. Have nothing against the chicken Caesar salad, but how can you make your life so boring? Right? But she's doing this to her. We laugh, we tease her, but that's what she does. So, do you want to make any comment about learner mind?
No, I need to practice that more and learn more. I mean, I saw the Grand Canyon, so I looked at that a little differently than what I had anticipated and had visualized. I mean, go figure. So, I mean, that was, it was fascinating kind of that. And I've been to some other places where I kind of thought what it was going to be, but when I got there, it was different. And so
How
so
about
that's,
don't think what's gonna to be?
I know. So
A
that's
good
what it
idea.
is.
It's a
It's
good
like,
idea. Isn't it a good idea?
yeah. So, I mean, it's like that learner mind. You have to go with no anticipation, but most of the stuff you've heard about, you've seen, or you read about. So that's the mindset that I usually go with. And to forget all that information and just go. I wish I was like the kids next door, the little ones that,
Yeah.
but, you
For
know, where
you,
they,
Janice, how it is.
It's that's more complicated than it needs to be, because there's just so much going on that keeps me from that curiosity. Like, I'm more interested in protecting myself, or I'm interested in meeting my to-do list, checking my to-do list off. So I don't have time to be curious. Well, this is in the past. Did not have time to be curious and learn. It's like, oh, I know enough. I just need to get this stuff done. So that's definitely a competition that's not healthy.
And you know, Janice, you can always reserve 30 minutes of your day to be curious.
Mm.
You know, if you live your life and you think that's the best way to live your life, it's a to-do list and go through, put in your to-do list
Mm.
a space to be.
Yeah, I like that.
No, so in your to-do list or your calendar or your schedule has a time that Janice will be doing nothing. That's one of the items we'll see here. Because look, the earth, right? And the gray hair,
Mm.
right? And the muscles,
Mm-hmm.
right?
yeah.
Life consumes, and then what's the importance? So maybe for you could be good to have a conversation with yourself. What's the real importance of the to-do list?
Mm-hmm.
Is the to-do list really the to-do list? Or it's my way to have a little world that I control absolutely, and then I don't live?
Mm.
Because what I write and I do and I go through and the day is over, bang, check, one day more. And then check, one day more. But when it's the time that you're really present to that day, and live that day fully with the smell, with the texture, with the everything, doing something new, something exciting. Each day, do one thing for yourself that's exciting, or something new that you never did, or plan something new to do next week or in 3 days. Right? So we create a robotic life because life takes us to this direction. But we need to be rebel enough to do different. So we have a life that's worth living, happy, fun, joyful. Otherwise, we just become like the movies from Charlie Chaplin, right? Just right, and then the hair gets gray, the muscles get loose. And then one day, yeah, I had a teacher once, he would say, and then you die, and everybody goes to Denny's. That's the way he always finished his dramatic sentences, like, then time passed, and then you die, and everybody goes to Denny's. So it is, right? All your to-do list, all your plans, all the do right, do perfect, and do everything, and then and do you know what happened last? Everybody goes to Denny's.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just to make our life so tasteless, right? Okay. Debbie, anything you want to add?
No, I think we're good there.
Okay.
I have issues on a couple of the other ones.
Okay, let's go there. So non-judgmental. So avoiding labels of right or wrong, good or bad. So we always have opinions and ideas of everything. The important is not to, as a sudden, we will become the club of the perfect girls. No, it's first thing is to be aware when you're judging. That's the first step. Be aware when you're judging. Just be aware. It's like, oh, I'm judging again. That's the first step. Okay, I'm judging again. Oh, okay. So, any comment?
No, I mean, I've caught myself being judgmental a lot, you know, throughout my life. And I'm really trying not to be as judgmental and judging people that I see out. But
Because
it's
Debbie, do you know what the backfire?
not good.
Do you know what's the backfire of being judgmental?
They're probably judging me as well.
You judge yourself.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
the backfire.
Yeah.
When you start being more comfortable not judging, the self-criticism will drop considerably.
Yeah. I judge myself a lot.
So that's the backfire. A
Yeah.
good exercise to decrease the self-judgment is to be a little bit more kind
To
when
myself.
look at things, when look at people, when look at, I know people that is always making fun of others, putting nicknames, and their life is hell. They never see as a sister and a brother. They never see as a human being. There is always a story in the head, story about themselves, about others. So these lots of judgment has a backfire that you are judging yourself a lot and you're sure that's another one that everybody's judging you with the same cruelty you are judging others.
Yeah.
This is one part of the story. Janice, do you want to add something?
I agree. Actually, I see that there's something that you've said before that I do. I try to I'm more non-judgmental. I try to be out amongst people, but I will watch YouTube where they make fun of somebody like a celebrity, and I get into it. So I know that's like that comes back to get me for sure. I've been spending more time loving myself, but that is a habit I enjoy and have a difficult time pulling away from. Let's judge. Let's judge.
But
It's
then
fun.
and then you are aware. Now you got aware of that. So what you will do with that, it's personal. As I said, I'm not creating the club of the perfect girls, but once we have the awareness, we can do something about. Because I don't know if you ever heard about the Book of the Miracles.
Course in Miracles.
Course in Miracles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the first lessons, this book, Debbie, has one lesson per day, 365 lessons. You read and you kind of guide your day by that. There is more about the book, but don't want to take much of our time with that. So, and one of the first lessons is to look at things and don't even name it. So I look at the thing, immediately we think cup, glass, right? And sometimes glass with water, or maybe she's drinking vodka or tequila, right? Or cachaça, right? So, but it's one of the exercises that helps a lot, Debbie, with the judgmental thing, is to look in your house, look at anything now. You look around anything, choose a something now. You look and you don't give a name, you don't think for what it serves. You don't think if it's dusty or not, if it's the right place, that you need to do something later. Nothing. Choose one thing in your house and look now and try to do this exercise. Takes some time. Takes some time, and you'll be thinking things, you'll be imagining things, and you have lots of ideas. Let these ideas pass until you can look at that and nothing comes. I want you to do with 2 more objects that are close to you.
Well, that's very hard
I agree
to
with
not name it, because you instantly
you. Do you
name
want
it.
something easy?
Well,
Sit
no,
on
but
a
I mean,
flan. Do you know what a flan is? Sit on a flan and be sitting there. It's very easy and soft.
but I mean,
Just do
I
it.
mean,
I want you to do with 2 more. Go ahead, do it. It's part of our class to do the practice. And if you have ideas and names and stuff, let it pass. Don't grab it until you empty your mind with all the adjectives and the names and the synonyms and whatever, and then you look. And then when you change to the 3rd object, try to already change the object with this mindset. You just look and start not having thoughts about. Only when you're able to do that, this is the first step exercise, okay? Only when you're able to do that, you will be ready to be imprinted from outside in. Otherwise, it's always your head thinking, oh, her hair is oh, this glass, oh, this purse doesn't match with this. So this is an exercise, a practice that prepares you to blank your mind from your preconcepts and receive from the environment, from the universe, what the universe is giving to you. You look at the person for the first time and you're not oh, her eyes are crossing, her mouth is too big, she has a pimple, oh, her husband is weird, she has a big ears. And so you get so distracted by thoughts. Oh, she looks like my sister. Just blank and let the person imprint a new, absolutely new thing for you. New. It's a Judy. Oh, hi, Judy. And you'll be very empty canvas, blank canvas. Let Judy shows who she is. And it also avoids, you have the preconcepts, the triggers. The triggers come from our head. Oh, that aunt that mistreated me, huh? She always used this purple thing. So you put the past and your mind in between the experience of being alive. Being alive is to really experience what it is, the way it is right now in the very moment. That's to be alive, not to reliving what you lived before, or as Debbie said, anticipating what you will see. What's the advantage of that? To keep you out of experience life the way life is presenting to you. Being alive is to be in the court, right there. Get your jersey, your tennis shoes, go to play the game of life, not to be sitting and anticipating and looking and just checking the boxes, right? So what do you have to say? Not much, because we have lots to go through here. Anything very important you want to say?
No.
No, no. Okay. So the acceptance. Acceptance in this sense here, he calls acknowledgement, right? I call acceptance. It's let me see here, where is my pen? Yeah. So acknowledgement is what it is, right? Recognizing things as they are. So if I see Judy, I'm not worried about her, if she's fat or skinny or long hair or da 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 da, or has a pimple or her glasses are old fashioned. It's a very active recognition of things the way they are. It's an active recognition. You really need to look and let it in, right? So, and it's also helps when we are in pain. Whenever you have any pain, emotional or physical, first step we need to go through is to welcome. Not because we are liking, we welcome because we need to accept it's there. And once you accept it's there, so people usually is fighting. I don't even use this word much. Fighting for this, fighting for that. I'm fighting. I want to go against it. Every time you do a fight, you make more resistance of the bad in you. So even a pain, it's a way to, you have to, I was reading a quote the other day. It's like the way to move on is to go through, or the way to go away is to go through.
The
And
only way out is through.
yeah, the only way out is through. No, the only way out is through. So, and it is, once we go through, we face it, we leave it, and then you are ready to let it go. That's our next one is let it go. Anything to say about acceptance, girls?
No.
Okay. So settled, he call settled is the way we do to non-striving. And this is what I was telling you, Janice. We non-doing. Settle is the way to be grounded and comfortable in the moment. It's the opportunity we give to ourselves to not do anything. Not doing. We are human beings, not human doings, right? So it's non-striving. There is authors that call non-striving. It's non-doing. Non-doing is awareness. I'm here. I'm not doing thinking. I'm not doing anything. I'm not checking my phone. It's a non-doing. Awareness. Absolutely resting, right? And that's what the mindful awareness is. Usually we are escaping from the past, or we are trying to manipulate what's coming forward, right? So that's the silence, right? That we've been practicing. Anything you want to say about it?
No, I think I got that down really well.
Good.
Well,
So,
I mean, I do that. I'll go out.
okay. So let me keep going. So composed is remaining patient. So we need to cultivate our patience. And the byproduct is we are never where we are. When we are impatient, we are never where we really are. We are always in a place that we are not. And you see, one is connected to the other, right? One is connected to the other. Let's just move on. And then if you have doubts, take a note, okay? Letting be. Letting be is people call let go, but when you say let go, it doesn't go anywhere. Letting be is letting things be with no need to change them. It's the possibility we open to not to be grasping in anything and to be fixed on that. Let it be. Somebody is doing that, let it be. It's when you grasp, you kind of that thing stays, right? Or we push the unpleasant thing away. I remember that when we started doing the thoughts exercise, you were pushing the thoughts away. I remember you saying that's not what it is to let it be. Phases that we go through when we enter in this self-development journey, right? And we use a lot the breathing in order to get these states. Anything you want to say?
No.
No? Trust. We need to trust our body, trust ourselves, and trust the universe. And our body has a wisdom. We don't need to tell our eyes to see. We don't need to tell our ears to hear. We don't need to tell our organs to digest. We don't need to say to our lungs to breathe. The same way we trust our body to do certain things, we need to trust in healing as well. And once we start trusting more and acknowledging the trust in the body, the self comes right after. And then you are ready to trust the relationships, other people, nature, everything else. So it's important to have this sense of trusting. I had a client once that she said she didn't trust anybody. Never trust anybody. Trust is a problem. I have a trust issue. And I turned to her and said, do you drive? Yes, I drive. Okay, so you drive. Did you ever drive in a road that you have no division? You have cars going in one direction, cars coming the other direction. Oh yeah, many times. What guarantees you that that car won't hit you in front to front? So you trust. You trust. If you don't trust in anybody, nobody. She has a problem not trusting the husband, and then she said, "I don't trust. I never trust nobody." It's like, oh, yeah, you trust. So the thing is how we develop this trusting. It's absolutely strangers. They could be drugged. They could be alcoholic. They could be sleepy, and you drive, and they can any moment hit you and kill you. But you drive anyway, so you trust. So the same trust we have when we enter in an airplane or when we drive somewhere or when we have this trust, we need to expand this sense of trusting to ourselves. Trust yourself, trust others that you are related, trust your body, trust the universe, trust the future that will come, things that in the right time. Remember the earth? It has to complete 24 hours and 365 days. We can change that, right? So anything that you want to add?
No. Trust is, they're pretty self-explanatory, most of these, that they you can relate to all. I can relate to most all of them. So
Okay. So self-compassionate.
that
So
one I have trouble with.
you have trouble in being self-compassionate?
Well, for loving myself,
Yeah, so loving yourself, your thoughts and emotions as they are. So compassion, the same way you have compassion for a dog, for a cat, for a homeless, or right? So how can we expand our compassion? Because we always have compassion to somebody or something, right? So how can we expand these and include ourselves in that? And another big one is the gratitude, right?
Yes.
So gratitude, it's there is no way to be angry or unhappy in a heart that's grateful. When you start your day, you're brushing your teeth, you can be grateful you have tooth, right?
Yeah.
You can be grateful you have warm water in your sink. So many things we can be grateful. It's a good way to start your day. Is we usually take life itself for granted, right? So how can you don't do it, right? How can you really be grateful? And I like to add one that's generosity. Generosity, it's a powerful tool that that you can give yourself to life, right? You can give yourself to other people. You can give joy to others. You can dedicate your time. You can dedicate something, your voice, your attention, some money, some help, right? So it's I think generosity is it's a big one. So I see that some authors say that mindfulness is heartfulness.
Mm.
And I think it makes sense because once we have the once we have these all combined, right? Once you have all these combined, we'll be at peace. We will be at peace, right?
Yeah.
Let me just go through the next minutes. I put here a little exercise for you. When you're doing this exercise, and it was one of my promises for this for these masterminds is to have some exercise, right, and some homework. So when you're doing this exercise, I want you to write down what's the obstacles, if any, or tasks that interfere with your daily mindful meditation exercises. Okay, so if you're doing, oh, my head is too full, or just right there, because then after 3 months or so, you can compare your gain, right? You can check your gain. And then you write down some suggestions that might help you to avoid this interference in the future. So, oh, my head is full. In the morning, it's harder for me because my head is too full. So the I will try to do tomorrow or next week. I'll do all at night, right? Or whatever it is your choices. Now that you have begun to enhance your personal growth and self-awareness through mindfulness, write down any differences you may have already noticed since beginning your journey. So I recommend you do this once a month, maybe the very last day of the month or the first day of the next month, if you felt something different. And of course, we will evolve to be mindful all day, but now you're doing 3 to 5 to 10 minutes per day. So there is a mindfulness training that I am planning for this year, and to be a meditation course that I don't call meditation, right? Because people get that. So, and then if you have anybody that you know that would be interested, you can forward this manual if you want, and they will have the idea of how they can subscribe. When they open that, they will actually be in my website, and they fill up a form and they say that I want to do. If you click now, you see, and then I'll send them an email and explain when it will be, how it will be, and how much will be, and for whoever is interested. So, final words, girls.
Need to practice more mindfulness.
Okay.
I
So, what's
need
the best time of the day that you think that will be better for you, Debbie?
Well, I do it, throughout the day, but probably in the afternoon, because usually my mornings are busy. So it's usually lunchtime-ish, somewhere in there. So usually that's when I get quiet and sit. So that's usually when I'm doing that either just
Okay.
before or after,
Okay.
because
So can I give you a suggestion?
Mhm.
Establish a time. And of course, you have other things, you change the time, but establish a time, put an alarm on your phone with a nice, not a irritating sound, with a nice sound. And every day, at that time, you will sit for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and just stay there. It will help you, like we sleep and you eat at the
Yeah.
same time. It will help your mind, your body, and your soul, and your intuition that comes from above. That knowing you are ready to listen what the intuition has to tell you. That's very
Yeah.
important, that you need to have the mind empty. Once a spiritual guide told me that when you have a worried mind, the mind is always worried, the intuition comes and has that signal. Do you know the old-fashioned signal of a busy telephone? Ta, 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 ta. So this spiritual guide said, then the intuition comes and hear that sound, quack, 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 because your mind is full. It's busy. The communication is busy. So the intuition says, I'll come back later. I'll come back later. Oh, if you keep your mind busy, worried, checking list all day, right? You wake up, you start, and then you only stop when you go to bed. There is no time for the intuition communicate to you, to penetrate in your thoughts, in your mind, in your soul, in your heart, and make you feel different, feel good, and to have you open to the new, to the things that you want for your joy, for your happiness, for the fun of being alive. Janice, you are hypnotized looking at me.
Am I? Well, I've started in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I joined Noom, like the eating thing. So I've almost let slide my mindfulness practice because I'm so busy weighing myself and doing these new things to eat better. It's like I need to get mindfulness back included because I see a big difference. I'm just a lot less in my body and less peaceful and calm.
Okay. That's when you don't do it, that's what you miss. You feel this is the reflection of what you're missing.
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of similar to Debbie, right? The calmness and yeah, the tranquility. Okay. So do you put alarms on your phone? Do you think it works or no?
Yeah, I can do that. Well, I've given my mindfulness over to logging my food instead. It's like I need to make room for both.
But
I
it's
don't,
new.
right.
It's new. It's a new thing, and you want to do it right,
Yeah.
right? You don't do things for doing, right? You want to do right. You want a result. It's natural
Yeah.
that you are just dedicating, but now you are missing something.
Yeah.
So how to get the balance? It comes with time. You acknowledge, you are aware it's something is too much. I need to find some time for this and to make some time and to put in your alarm. For me, I don't know you girls, but for me, this guy helps a lot. I have alarm for everything.
Yeah, I do.
Nice
too.
alarms that it's just a really reminder, very, very subtle that it's something, if it's not crossing my mind because I'm busy, it's like, oh, what did I have? Oh, okay. That phone call. Oh, okay. It's time for me to do my finances. Oh, okay. So it's there and it helps. So I don't know if you never tried, just try. See if it works for you. Anything else? Final words, girls? It was a good masterclass for you. Did you
Yeah,
learn
it was
something
good.
new?
Yeah.
It was good. It reinforced a lot of things that we've talked about in the past, brushed over, in the other classes that we're going to get to later. It kind of brought it back up again so that it brings it back into the forefront, that it's like, ooh, I need to be doing that more or with regularity, instead of every other day, or when I think about it, I really need to do it every day. So that's what this did for me. Same thing with last week's class. It was like, oh yeah, I know it, but I haven't been practicing it. I need to
So
practice those more.
what are you committed, you two, from this class? What's the highlight of this class? What did you learn? If you could say in one thing, what would be the highlight of this master class for you?
Trust.
Trust.
Yeah, I was going to say becoming non-judgmental and the trust. And I have to work on self-love and
Okay.
and gratitude more.
Okay.
And so that's what I picked up on this, is that be more loving and to myself. I'm compassionate and loving to just about anything else but myself. I always am beating myself up.
Okay.
So I have to really work on that one a little bit more. And then and doing more gratitude. Because, you know, what am I grateful for? Well, yeah, I have my feelings, and that is like, oh, I can't really express them, even though we've learned how to do that. I still have trouble doing it because it doesn't come easily for me.
If you have to choose the one that was more important for you.
Right now, self-love.
Self-love. And for you is trust. Janice, trust mainly in what? What's missing the most? Trust in your life.
Trusting, well, I wrote down, trust your body, trust yourself, trust the universe.
Okay. Okay.
And so trusting all of those.
Yeah.
It's a trifecta.
So when you drive, always remember that you're trusting anyways.
There you go.
Every time you drive, you see a car coming, you say, I trust that stupid person I never saw. I don't even know what's going on. Why am I not trusting myself that I know?
And I have to go in a moment, and as you know, but I was like kind of happy for our break, like, oh, look at me, I'm practicing my practices, which is very nice. I'm an independent woman, but it really go deeper when we're together, and it takes me to a place of like, oh, let's commit to this. So I'm happy to be back. It was kind of fun to have a little vacation, but I'm really happy to be back.
Yes.
Yeah,
so next week we are not meeting.
Yes.
Right.
And if you want, let me know what's the best day and time, and let's have some coffee together.
I'm surprisingly free next week.
You are nice.
Yeah.
And I'm on jury duty, call in next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
So
flexibility.
you just let me know, okay? Today is Thursday. But about from today to Sunday, let me know just write down what's your best or your worst. I know Debbie is depending on that, right? But we can do it evening. It's a problem for you to have a coffee in the evening, okay? So we can do it in the evening if Debbie's busy, right?
Okay.
But
and I'm just going to put out there that Wednesdays and Thursdays are good.
Wednesday, Thursdays, okay. Do you want to do Thursday at the same time? We can do it.
I mean,
I've got I have a 4:30. I'm sorry. She's all a 4:30.
So you are free, but you're not totally free. You have these.
I forgot about that.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. We talk. So I wish you an amazing, amazing, mindful week. Actually, a mindful life. I trust you. I believe in you. I see so many differences in what you guys are achieving. I am so proud of you because yes, Debbie, it's hard. It's very hard. That's why not many people invest in doing the self-work. But you're doing and you don't give up, and I'm so proud of you. And we'll have coffee next week, and we'll be back in 2 weeks to our masterclass.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.